We heard a loud scream in the middle of the night. It was Ngozi, my stepsister. She was crying again. It had become a familiar sound in our compound. My name is Chidi, and I grew up in a small village in Nigeria. When my mother died, my father, Eze, remarried. He married a woman named Adako, who came from a neighboring village. She brought with her a daughter, Ngozi, who was my age. At first, Adako, who is now my stepmother, seemed kind and caring, but that changed quickly. She began to treat me and my younger brother, Chima, very harshly. We were given the hardest chores and the least food. Adako's daughter Ngozi was treated like a queen, and Adako seemed to enjoy making our lives difficult. One day, as the sun was going down, I was helping Chima fetch water from the stream. We had to hurry because Adako would punish us if we were late. As we walked back, we heard Ngozi scream. We dropped our pot waters and ran towards the sound. When we arrived, we saw Adako standing over Ngozi, who was lying on the ground, clutching her arm in pain. Adako was shouting, "How dare you spill the soup? Do you know how hard it is to get food these days?" Ngozi was sobbing, trying to explain that it was an accident, but Adako wasn't listening. She raised her hand to strike Ngozi again, but Chima and I stepped in. "Stop it, Adako," I shouted. "She's just a child." Adako turned to me, her eyes blazing with anger. "You dare to speak to me like that? Chidi, do you want to join her?" I stood my ground, and Chima clutched my hand tightly. "We all worked hard here. You have no right to treat her this way," I said, trying to sound brave. For a moment, my stepmother Adako looked like she might hit me too, but then she laughed. It was a cold, heartless laugh. "Very well, Chidi. Since you think you can talk back to me, you will take Ngozi's place. You will do all her chores from now on." Chima and I helped Ngozi to her feet. She was still crying, but she whispered, "Thank you, Chidi. Thank you." From that day on, life became even harder for me and Chima. Adako made sure we worked from morning till night, and the punishments became more severe. But through it all, we stayed strong. We had each other, and that gave us the strength to endure. One evening, after a long day of work, I sat with Chima and Ngozi under the large mango tree in our compound. Ngozi looked at me with gratitude in her eyes. "Chidi, why do you help me? You could get in trouble." I smiled at her. "Because, Ngozi, we are family. We have to look out for each other. One day, things will get better." Little did I know that day would come sooner than we expected, but it would also bring even more challenges our way. The days became longer and harder, but we continued to persevere. Despite Adako's cruelty, we found solace in each other and in small moments of happiness we shared. One particular day, something unexpected happened that changed everything. It was the dry season. The village was suffering from the severe drought. The stream we fetched water from had almost dried up. One morning, as Chima and I made our way to the stream, we noticed Ngozi following us. She looked worried and insisted on coming along to help. Reluctantly, we agreed. As we approached the stream, we saw a group of villagers gathered near the shallow water, their faces filled with despair. The stream was barely a trickle now, and people were arguing over the remaining water. Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed through the air. Before we could react, the ground beneath us opened, and we fell into a hidden sinkhole. We landed in a small underground cavern. with water flowing through it. Though we were scared, we were unharmed, but we had no way to climb back up. Ngozi started to cry and Chima tried to comfort her. We knew we needed to stay calm and find a way out. Back at the village, hours passed without our return. Adako noticed our absence and began to worry. She asked around, and when she learned we were last seen heading to the stream, she rushed there. Seeing the villagers still gathered and the hole in the ground, she feared the worst. Adako called for help, and soon the entire village was working towards to rescue us. They used rope and ladders to reach the cavern. After what felt like an eternity, we were finally pulled to safety. When Adako saw us, she ran to Ngozi, hugging her tightly and crying, "Ngozi, my child." I was so worried. Then she turned to me and Chima, her eyes filled with guilt and sorrow. "I am so sorry, Chidi. I am sorry, Chima. I have been so cruel to you." We stood there exhausted and covered in dirt, but we listened as Adako continued. "I realize now how wrong I was. You are all family and I have treated you poorly. Please forgive me. I promise to change." Ngozi looked at her mother, then at us. She nodded and Chima and I exchanged glances. We could see the sincerity in Adako's eyes, and despite everything, we knew this was a chance for a new beginning. "Let's now move forward together," I said quietly but firmly, "as a family." From that day on, Adako kept her promise. She treated us with kindness and fairness, and our lives improved. The village also came together to help each other during the drought, and slowly things began to get better. Adako often expressed her regrets for her past actions and worked hard to earn our trust. In time, we forgave her, and our family became a place of love and support. We learned that even the hardest hearts can change, that forgiveness and family can heal the deepest wounds.